Okay, and we are live. Welcome, everybody. So this is my daughter, Sydney. I'm so excited to be here with you all and have my daughter here cooking with us. So let me say welcome to the show. This is Come Cook With Me. We are always here live every Friday at 4:30. I don't even know, we were having struggles with getting the camera set up, and it was kept flopping down. She's quite a bit taller than me, and I have shoes even to kind of make this all work. Normally I'm just trying to make it happen so that you can see me but not have her head cut off. So anyway, thanks for your patience, everybody, and I'm so glad that you were here to join us. And I'm so super thrilled that my daughter is here. So as you can tell, I'm just like overjoyed. So today we are making not one, but two cheesecakes. This girl said she totally wanted the pumpkin pie spice pumpkin cheesecake. And then she's like, oh, but if you can try to make that blueberry one that Miss Ivy used to make, then she'd be super excited. So her boyfriend's coming tomorrow, and we decided we'd go ahead and make two. So we're making two cheesecakes. I have some of the things prepared ahead of time, and I just wanted to share with you. We're going to have two Instant Pots going with both cheesecakes in them, so it's going to be really incredible. And this recipe is to die for. So I've alterated it a little bit, and I'll share with you kind of a heavy side and then a little bit of lighter side. So we'll have a little bit of both, and you can choose. Really, it's really up to you. You know, are you going to make it a splurge weekend when you have your cheesecake, or are you going to try to make it a little bit lighter? So either way, you'll be prepared. So in the beginning of the show, as you all know, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. We're really glad to have you. And if it's, thank you, love the love. And if you've been here before, you kind of know the routine, right? So you want to show a little bit of love. You want to say hello, who you are. So say your name. And then if you post in the comments where you're from, you get entered to win. And every week we have a little bit of a drawing. Now this week, or this past week, when we made the kebabs, we had over, I think we were close to 20,000 views on that show, and we had 50 shares. I think I wrote it down. No, I guess I didn't write it down. But we had, I don't know, 57 shares, close to 60. It was close to 100. So if you're watching and we get to 100, I said always, if we get to 100, we'll be sharing an even bigger, extraordinary prize. But just stating your name, hello, who you are, where you're from, you get entered to win our spices. So let's see who won the spices. And let me show you the spices really quick. And Sydney, I need to send you home with these. These are phenomenal. Okay, so these spices are somebody who's on our team. Kentucky Proud, see? You can actually buy them in some Kentucky stores. And they're Dano spices. They are phenomenal. Let me show you. Woo-woo, Kentucky Proud. Wonderful spices. So phenomenal. What I love about them, let me show you what I love about them. So there's a little bit, this one's a little bit spicier than this one. But they're both fabulous. I use them every day. What I love about it is, I'm going to show you. Low sodium, no sugar, gluten-free, no MSG, and no GMO. Oh my God, yeah, so awesome. These are phenomenal. Okay, so every week, somebody who says hello, where you're from, and your name, you get to enter a win. And what we do is we just put you in a random generator. So everybody who makes a comment, you just get put into a random generator, and then today is the day that I run you through the random generator. So let's see who won the spices, okay? All right. Okay, this girl is going to be so super thrilled because she's entered several times, and she even sent me a message saying that she went ahead and bought the spices. So because she said that, I'm going to give her an option that if she wants to do something different, we'll talk about it. So I did pick a second winner. All right, so Deb, you won the spices, right? Okay, Deb, I'll send you a private message because you know who you are. Girl, if you want the spices again, you can totally have 2 sets and give some to your friends. And then our second winner, who's entered also before, is Linda Boyd. So Deb Bergmeyer, that's you. You won, but you said you just bought them. You sent me a message and said that you just bought them. So I'm so sorry. I was like, I knew it. As soon as you sent me that message, I was like, oh, watch her be the random generator. I mean, it's almost like you can put that stuff out into the universe, right? And that's exactly what happened. So I did pick a second winner just in case. So Linda, you also will win the spices. And I'll send you both private messages in case you're not live right now. But I hope you're live. Deb, I know you're going to be live if you, well, I know you're getting off work, so you might not be just live yet. Okay, I'm going to put that aside on top of the spices so we know who won. Okay, now, the person who won the shake. Now, it's going to be the seasonal shake, and if you saw my post earlier in the week, you saw the phenomenal seasonal products that have just been released. We have a beautiful seasonal catalog. I mean, it's so gorgeous. I'll send you private message the catalog if you haven't seen it. A lot of you private messaged me and said, yeah, let me see what it is. And some of you are already starting to shop. Some of you who already have accounts are shopping and getting gifts because it's the time. It's time now. Who do you know that you want to give a beautiful stocking stuffer or a great gift for your teacher, for your clergy, for your hair salon, you know, your stylist, your nail. Who else do you give gifts to? Your teachers, right? I mean, you give gifts out. This is the time of year that you don't want to be last minute shopping and running around with your, oh, I forgot that teacher. You don't want that. No. So just connect with me. We'll get you the catalog and we can shop until your heart's content. You'll have the product. It's so great. Now, we just checked the front door and the products did not arrive, the ones that I purchased so that you could all see them. So as soon as they get here, I'll do another little video so you can kind of take a look at them. But the seasonal shake, pumpkin spice or chocolate mint, right? This is the person who won. Okay, hang on. All right, now this is the first time entry that I remember. I don't remember hearing or seeing this name ever before. So, Jerry, I'm gonna have to send you a message and I'll go back to your comment from last week. But Jerry Bolin, if you are live right now, you won the seasonal shake. Woohoo! Let's show some love for these people. Let's show some love. I know you're live. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside. All right, so let's get cooking. First thing we're gonna start off with is we're gonna start off with a graham cracker crust. Okay, so in my, oh, well, before we do that, one second. I need to just do a paper towel. I'm gonna do a little bit lining. Now a lot of people use cooking spray. I do not use a cooking spray. So what I'm doing is I'm putting just a tad bit, just so you can see it, tad bit of olive oil, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and line it in my bottom of my pan so that it doesn't stick, right? It comes off easily. The cheesecake will remove quickly and easily if you, I'm just gonna put just a smidgen more. Okay, so, you know, Sydney knows that most of the things that I make, I cook like just from scratch, right? And I have no recipes, and I know it drives some of you crazy, but I'm not a traditional baker. No. I mean, only at holidays, right? So the fact that last week was my very first cheesecake and it turned out heavenly, I now consider myself a little bit of a baker with my Instant Pot. I know, that doesn't count, but it might as well because it's so fun. So remember these great attachments, these accessories that we got from Keith? Keith, if you are live with me, you might want to post your little website, and we can put it in the comments if you're not live, or if anybody who's a friend of Keith's want to post it. Keith is also a team member of ours, but he makes these incredible gadgets for the Instant Pot. I mean, he makes these. This design is just crazy awesome. And it's, instead of a springboard pan to go into your Instant Pot, you don't need it. Look, it's just crazy awesome. So I did the edges, I wet the edges, and I did the bottom. That's what we did. All right, so here's the graham cracker crust. What you want to do is you're going to put, I already have it in here, but I'll show it to you because we had to have the camera up high so you can't see it. Inside, we have 8 graham crackers. I just do regular. You can do anything that you want. I just do the regular ones because I actually add a few things. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get these really sifted well, and then I'm gonna add just 2 spices. So hang on, it's gonna make a little noise. I am so sorry about the noise. All right, so we're gonna just get it. It's kind of loud. I'm so sorry. I should have done that earlier. So it's nearly done. Just gonna do a few more pulses. Some of those little guys just don't get chopped up quite well enough. That's good, because the next time I pulse it, it'll be very close. The graham cracker crust, I mean, it's really the simplest thing. So easy. So we're gonna use a little bit of ginger and cinnamon. And I use 1/4 teaspoon of each. So, you know me, I don't measure. So that's about 1/4 teaspoon. Ginger, that's a great thing. And then we've got some cinnamon. Remember, you want to use your spices, no GMO, very important, organic, no GMO. Okay, we've talked about that a lot, but if you're new, that's really an important piece. Why have additional toxins in your body when you don't need them? All right. Another 1/4. Now here's a special surprise. You're not going to see this in any of the recipes, at least that I've seen. I don't know. So this is why I consider myself kind of a unique baker. Although I'm really not a baker. I'm admitting that. So the way to make your crust, and really anything that you are baking, superb. Something that says, what's in that? I'm not really sure what's in that. You use the rind of a lemon or an orange, even a lime. But we're gonna use lemon today. And if I had an orange, I would do a little bit of both. But we're gonna do lemon, and it's just so delicious. And you just get that right in, just keep. And if you don't have this little handy guy, this is so easy, so awesome. And it makes the crust so yummy. Anything that if you've been following me, you know that we do this often. It's a really great trick when you do a final serving of anything. Mexican, you put it on right at the very end with a squish of a lime juice, to die for. All right, let's see, put that over there. I'm gonna get this just mixed up one more time, one more pulse, so I apologize for the noise. We're gonna have some noises because we have to do that for the cheesecake too, for the filling. All right, so I'm just gonna pulse a couple more times. Perfect. There's one in there that's just not quite ready, so I'll just smash him up with the fork. So what I typically do is I just remove that guy, and then I pour it over the sink because I always make a mess. So pour over your graham cracker into the sink. You want to knock it out so it's pretty clean so that when we make the filling, it's really easy. And then all you need to do is have 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to get that guy chopped up. 2 tablespoons of butter. And I've already gone ahead and melted it. And so that's my 2 tablespoons of butter. And you're just going to pour it right into your graham cracker crust. Oh, can you smell that? Isn't it heavenly? I always talk about having smell-o-vision. You know, this girl's probably going to create it. Why don't you tell a little bit about yourself? My girl is a CIS, right? Yes. CIS major. That's Computer Information Systems, because that takes me a long time to figure that out. And she's just like genius. So she'll probably figure out smell-o-vision before you know it. Get on that, would you? Okay. All right. So Sydney came in late last night. Oh, wait till you see this graham cracker crust. It just looks great. It's perfect. I'm going to show you the color, how it looks, so you can take a look at it. It's very moist. Take a look. That's really moist. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, yeah. All right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it right into my mold. And then I'm gonna press it down with my, just with my 4 fingers. Okay, so I'll show you what it looks like. And then once you get this prepared, you're gonna put it in the freezer while you're making the filling. I have one in the freezer already, and then one that is just gonna go in.
Brittany said hi.
Hi. Well, you know, so funny because she has eyes of an eagle, and I can't read anybody's names or what they're saying. Hi, Brittany. So glad you joined us. Isn't it great to see Squidward on the show? Too fun. Okay, so let's take a look at what it looks like. That's what it's going to look like. Just all tampered down, right? So you go ahead and put that one in. If you could put it on the top rack in the freezer, and then we'll keep the other one in there until we make the filling. Okay, the cheesecake filling. This is phenomenal. Which one should we start with, Sydney? You want to start with the blueberry or the, make sure that, yeah. You want to do the blueberry or the pumpkin first?
Let's do blueberry.
Okay, we're going to do blueberry first. Lovely. So you're going to have 2, oh, you know what? Before I put this in, I want to make sure you get your Instant Pots ready. Inside the inner pan lining, you're going to put 1.5 cups of water, okay? So you want to have that in there, have it prepared so that when you get the filling made, all you have to do is pop it in. And I did that for this one back here. There's 1.5 cups each in there. So you're going to start off with 2 bricks, 2 8-ounces of just cream cheese. I do the regular cream. Oops, you know what I forgot to do? Forgot to put the guy back in. Gotta have this guy. That's an important guy. You'll have to tell me if anybody's asking questions because I can't read it. That's one of the things that's really hard is that I get questions at the end and I always answer them, but I never get to see them because I can't read it this far away. All right, so let me get that cream cheese off my hands. All right, so we're doing the this is the blueberry. So if you watched when I did the Come Shop with me, every Wednesday we do the what you're gonna need for what we're cooking. So I showed you 2 really cool things from the store. Inside the filling, not the topper, because the topper is going to be actually a blueberry glaze that we'll make. But what I found at the store, these 2 yummy products. One was from Santa Cruz, and it was a blackberry pomegranate, no GMO, all the right things. But look at this. This is a wild blueberry, an old French recipe. So I thought, oh my gosh, which one should we use? You know what I did? I just mixed them both together. So it looks like this. And at the end of the cream cheese, we're going to actually put that in. It's so beautiful. That's what we're going to stir into the mold. But we'll do that last. So what you want to do is you put your cream cheese and your sugar in first. Let me show you the sugar I'm using because I'm not using the traditional sugar. I'm using a coconut crystal sugar. I think it's a better sugar for you because it's not a refined or processed sugar. It's one that I love the most, and let me show you why. It's organic, it's gluten-free, it's unbleached, it's unrefined, non-GMO, and it's a vegan sugar. So it's just a really great, great sugar. I love it. It tastes wonderful. You want to taste it? Sure. Put your hand out. There you go. She'll tell you. But it's really, really good, and you don't need to have the refined sugar. So you want to cream that up first. That's the very first thing you're going to do. Just your sugar and your cream cheese. So again, I apologize ahead of time because it's going to be loud. Just a smidgen, not too bad. Okay. So you want to get that nice and creamed up. So cover your ears. Gorgeous. Let me show you what that looks like. It's perfect. All right, take a look. There's a little bit of the graham cracker crust in there, but that's totally fine. Don't even worry about that. Okay, so that's creamed up beautifully. And so what we're gonna do is now we're gonna add a little bit of the spices. The last thing we're gonna add is gonna be the eggs, but we'll fold those in at the very end. Okay, so again, we're gonna go with the spices. We're gonna use a little bit of cinnamon. Again, a 1/4 teaspoon. We've got ginger. We have pumpkin spice. Now this one, I use 3/4 teaspoon, and I'll just show you what I do, just to make sure, because my 3/4 in my hand, it's not as accurate. I just fill it up. It's okay if it's a little over. I love the pumpkin spice pie filling, and you're going to use that in the blueberry as well. All right, and allspice, again, 3/4 teaspoon. And your nutmeg is going to be a 1/2 teaspoon. There you go. And then you're going to use 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla. I love this brand because there's no alcohol, there's nothing, it's all natural. And that was Spice Island's pure vanilla extract. Don't use the imitation. All right, let me put that back on. Beautiful. Okay, now here's where the secret comes in. Instead of whipping cream, what I use is a Greek yogurt. So instead of having the heavy contents of the heavy whipping cream, we'll use a Greek yogurt. But I used a French vanilla Greek yogurt. Let me show it to you. And I added 2 scoops. Let me show. There you go. I added 2 scoops of our vanilla protein. It's going to go right in here. It's nice and creamy. And oh so delicious. Doesn't that look yummy? Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna put this blender back on, get it all mixed together. It won't have to blend as long as we just did to get the cream cheese all done. So I let it run for a smidgen, and then I'm going to scrape the sides because I really want to get all that mixed in before we fold in anything else. Okay, one more. Gorgeous. Okay, so the one filling crust that was in the freezer, if you'll get that for me. So look at this beautiful mix, so good. I'm just going to scrape the sides off that blade. And I'm just going to rinse it because we know we have to make the pumpkin one next. So I'll just rinse it real quick to get off this. And then we'll take this and scrape the bowl. I'm putting it into a clear bowl so that we can fold in the eggs and fold in the blueberries. Isn't that phenomenal looking? Mm-hmm. Ah, it smells so good. Okay, I'm going to rinse that as well. Oh, Rio just coughed over there.
Rio.
He usually hangs out on the couch while I'm cooking. Okay, So we put that guy back on. Now we're gonna fold in. Let me show you what it looks like in the bowl. That's our filling. All right, now we're gonna fold in the blueberries. All right. Just swirl it around. And that's what it's gonna look like. And now we're gonna fold in the eggs. You're gonna have 3 eggs, and every single product that we had is, whether it was cream cheese, eggs, Greek yogurt, you wanna have it at room temperature, okay? So I've got 3 eggs, and I always like to crack them in a bowl, just so that you don't get any, the eggshell. Who wants eggshell in their stuff, right? So I just try to add 1 at a time, and I start to fold. You don't want to overwork your eggs. That's the most important part. Some people like to leave their eggs, when they add the eggs, they just do 1 quick pulse, but I don't. I don't like to do that, because if you overwork your eggs, it's not going to have the consistency of the cheesecake that you're going to want to have. So, isn't that phenomenal looking? Mm-hmm. I'll show it to you all in just a second. Just want to work it in. I might get a little whisk. This is actually working fine. All right, so we've had this in the freezer for the last 20 minutes. This is your graham cracker crust, and this is a deeper one that Keith makes. This is, look at how deep that is. That's perfect that we chose this one for first. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill it up. Oh, it's so perfect. This is a thick one because it's so big, so it's great. All right, get that rinsed off. So we're almost ready to put it into the Instant Pot. It's amazing how quick the Instant Pot cuts. So when you get your settings correct, let me just finish this so it's not making noise while I'm talking. All right. Can you get me a paper towel, love? So what you want to do, I'm going to show it to you first, but let me just dry my hands off real quick. Here's what it's going to look like, just like that. I know, isn't that awesome? All right, so I don't want to tip it too much because it'll get the sides cooking. So you're going to cover your pot, you're going to cover your container, first with a paper towel. You want to make sure it's completely covered, and I'll show you what that looks like. Just real simple, just like that, okay? And then, after you cover it with the paper towel, you're going to take a piece of tin foil, and you want to get it really nice and tight around your pot. I don't need to have a whole, that was a jumbo roll. So you want to have it around the circle and make it nice and tight. So simple. Make sure you don't, if you have one of Keith's implements, you can make a sling if you don't have one of Keith's implements. I would make a sling out of tin foil that you can put in the bottom of your pan. I should have probably made a sling just so you could see what that looks like, but maybe I'll post that in the comments below. So look, so it'll look just like this. Okay, and I've got my handles, so I'm going to put it into the Instant Pot right here. Make sure it's plugged in. And what we're going to do is we're going to set it on manual. Slide it into the pot. Remember, you already have an inch, like a cup and a half of water. Okay, gorgeous. Thinking with that bigger one. With this bigger one, we're going to use the other Instant Pot because the other one's a little bit more shallow. It has a little bit more room. So we're going to put it in over here. See how much more room it gave us? And then we want to plug it in. And what you're going to set it on is you're going to put your setting on. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to leave you all. So you're going to set it on manual, and you want it on manual high. And you're going to set it for 45 minutes. Let me put the top on so you can hear the top. You want to make sure that it locks. And you want to also make sure that your vent, you have a vent and you have a close. Make sure it's in the closed position. And listen, you're going to hear it. You'll hear it. Did you hear that? It's ready to go. So we're going to put it on manual. And let's see. Manual. And it's on high pressure. And you want to set it for 45 minutes. And it'll just get started. And when it finishes after the 45 minutes, you're going to let 15 minutes natural release, natural pressure release.
Hi, Bree.
Hi, Bree. Didn't know you joined us. Hello. So you're going to let a natural release of steam for 15 minutes. Okay, so let's get with the pumpkin spice. I will have to say this is now one of my favorite recipes. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the cream cheese and the sugar. Oh, almost did it again, didn't I? Make sure you put your blade in. That's an important thing. All right. All right, there we go. Sugar. Got the sugar. Half a cup of sugar. And I apologize again, it's going to be a little loud. Beautiful. Hang on a second. Oh, that's great. So we're going to add in our pumpkin spice. This is replacing the whipping cream. So if you use a heavy whipping cream, you're going to use a half a cup. So I used a half a cup of the Greek yogurt. Let me show you the one I picked. Because if you did the come shop with me, you saw in the cart, I put the wrong one in. So it was very close. So that's a Greek yogurt, vanilla bean. That's the one I chose. This is not the one I chose, but that's the one I went back and got. But they were very close in identification. So it was a simple mistake. But I also added in 2 scoops of our pumpkin spice full meal replacement shake in here. I know. I can't wait till you taste this. It's so good. Can you just smell that? That doesn't even have the pumpkin puree in it yet. I'll let you lick the bowl. Don't you love that when your kids cooked with you? It was always the licking the bowl. What was your favorite? Eating the cookie dough? I did bake a little bit. All right. You want to taste that?
Sure.
It's so good.
Should I put it in this?
After you're done tasting it, yeah. Okay, so we're going to use pumpkin puree. You want to use, I use just the Libby's. I like the Libby's a whole bunch. And I was reminded last week by Mark, our friend Mark. He said, remember that pumpkin pie you made last year? How awful it was? Because I used an organic pumpkin.
It was really bad.
I don't recommend it. It didn't taste, that's only for people who really understand organic and love unique flavor. Because it was definitely a unique flavor. You're going to use a half a cup or half a can of the puree. Beautiful. Again, you're gonna use the same spices that we just used before. Ginger. Some cinnamon. A little bit more. There you go. I just love how allspice makes everything. I could put allspice in anything Thanksgiving. And it's not Thanksgiving yet, I know. And then we got some pumpkin spice. And with that blueberry, I was thinking, you know, I put the pumpkin spice in. It's like an allspice. I really love how the pumpkin, you don't need to in the blueberry cheesecake. I just did it anyway. And then we need to have our nutmeg. Beautiful. And then we have 2 tablespoons of vanilla. Beautiful. And we're going to blend that up. Isn't this recipe super easy? It's just amazingly easy. Did you imagine it was this easy? Mm-mm. I was surprised myself. If you didn't have a blender, a really nice blender, it wouldn't be so easy, but this makes it so easy. I think your arm would get really tired. Oh gosh, that just phenomenal. You should smell this. All right, one more time, just a smidgen. Don't you love the new blender too? Mm-hmm. My other one kind of got broken. Hi, Sarah. Hey, Sarah. You should come for dinner tonight. We're doing Mexican.
We'll be here.
Okay. Awesome. All right, let me just put that lid up there. Now we're going to transfer this to the glass bowl so that we can fold in the eggs. Scrape off your blade so you don't miss any of this deliciousness. Oh, isn't that just like so, that's like, it's so fluffy. Mm-hmm. Hands got a little yucky. Hang on a second. All right, here we go. Oh, the Instant Pot's starting to do its magic back there. Can you hear it getting full steam?
Yeah.
Pretty awesome, isn't it? So when it builds up the pressure, it starts to vibrate a little bit. And that's why you want to cover it really close, tightly, because you don't want that water that's in the bottom to get up into the cheesecake. That's one of the important steps. Don't miss that step. Otherwise you'll have water in your cheesecake. All right. So, set that in here. Let me show you what it looks like before we fold in the eggs. So fluffy. All right. Again, we're going to do one egg at a time. Just kind of fold one in. Thank you. One more. You want to go ahead and grab that crust bottom? Sure. And then you're just going to fold these into each other. Don't overwork the egg. That's really the most important piece. Don't overwork the egg. But mix well enough so that there's egg in every part of your filling. So simple. And then here we go. Voila! So let's go ahead and put it into the crust. This is the one we had just done together, right? And we put it in the freezer so it's ready to go. Now ideally, when these come out of the Instant Pot, when you at the 15 minutes when it's a slow release, you can finish off the steam. You're gonna wanna pop it right into the refrigerator. 4 hours to set up. The last time I made this though, it didn't really take a full 4 hours, but you know what? If you have 4 hours, leave it in there for 4 hours. Now this one, you don't wanna fill out too full. You wanna give a little inch at the top. This one's not as deep as the last one, so you might have a little extra batter filling. It's rocking and rolling over there. Isn't that cool? Okay, so smooth out the top. And I left about an inch at the top. I'll show it to you real quick. See the top? It's about an inch there. And then we're going to cover it again with a paper towel. I use 2 half ones just to cover it completely. Just lay it on the top so it doesn't get inside. I made the mistake last time I did this. I got a little bit inside, so I had to take it out real quick. All right, you won't need the whole piece. But you want to make sure it's nice and secure and tight. All right, and then once we get this guy in and get her started, all right, it's nice and tight. Just gonna lift it up like this, place it inside, make sure it stays down secure, and we'll get the lid. And there you hear it's on, and then it's secure. And this one, you want to make sure you don't want to push your button down because that's quick release. This one is just, the little button is in the up position. Okay, perfect. So, I have it on pressure cook, high, manual. And then I want to increase time to 45 seconds, or 45 minutes rather. 45 seconds, that would be like amazing. Okay. There we go. And it'll get started. Let me share with you what we're going to do for the topping. And I'll take pictures and post it below, but we're not going to make the topping right now because it's just it's way too early to do it. Can't remember this one. We have to start. There we go. All right, so the topping for the pumpkin spice, we're going to do a little bit of our sea salt caramel, Ice of Delights, and we've got some butterscotch also. So we're going to do a little bit of both, right? We're going to heat this up just right on the stove, just so that it'll be in the drizzle mode, okay? That's what we're going to drizzle it on the top, but we'll heat that up. Now, for the blueberry topping, I've got fresh blueberries in here, and we're gonna cook these down. We're gonna make a beautiful glaze, and what we're gonna add to this is we're gonna add just a smidgen bit of rum. We're gonna use a little rum to cook in there. And I'm gonna use some of the same flavors. We're gonna use some cinnamon. We'll use cinnamon, we'll use ginger, we'll use some allspice, and a little bit of nutmeg. And we're gonna boil those down. So we'll take pictures, we'll post them when we actually do that with the blueberries. And then it'll get into a nice, beautiful glaze, and it will just be yummy. And we'll actually put it into, let it cool down before we put it on top of the cheesecake. And that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I talked about at the end of the show that we would stay and get these salsa started, but we're actually not going to do that on the live feed. We're going to actually do that afterward. And it's just too long of a video. We don't want to keep people. These were the two topics that we wanted to get done. So we'll post the pictures of when it's completed, and we'll post them before we hop them into the fridge, and then we'll post it when we take them out and put the glaze together. So Thanks for joining my daughter and I. We're going to be making the rest of the dinner. We've got a few family members coming over for dinner tonight. Mark and Melissa and our goddaughter, Mackenzie. So we're excited to have a family evening. Thank you so much for joining. Remember, if this is your first time visiting, be sure to say hello, who you are, where you're from. Be sure, if you want to win one of the grand prizes, the big prize, share this on your Facebook wall and give me some ideas of things that you want to cook. I know that we've got a lot of cooking we're doing this week, so this weekend. So we'll have a lot of fun, but we won't be posting it all. But I'm going to be doing one of the things that Derek asked for was
Chicken and dumplings.
Chicken and dumplings. I haven't made that yet in the Instapot, so we'll be doing that, and I'll be working on perfecting the recipe before we actually show it on live. So thanks again, everybody. It's such a pleasure to have you join me in my kitchen. I'm so blessed beyond words to say how excited I am that you always come in and tune in. I'm just overwhelmed with the response that we have had. If you've missed any of our shows, go to YouTube. You know that I have a YouTube?
I do.
Okay, so go to YouTube. It's Lifestyle by Laura J. Oh, and we have the new pages opened up. I haven't actually gone public with it, although a few of you have found it. It's Instapot What Now? I will post that also, and Sarah, if you're on, if you could go ahead and post it. If not, we'll post the link to it. We're going to open the page up. We have not filled it with the things that we wanted to do, but we'll start making some videos. You've got your Instapot. What are you going to do now? And I actually have to do a super shout out to several of you who just went out and purchased your Instapot because you've been following this show. And you're excited and you're like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? So the very first video that we're gonna do, I'll probably tape it this weekend, is say, okay, let's get it out of the box. Let's do the first test. The first test that you should do always with your Instapot. We'll go ahead and do that and we'll film it and we'll show you. Maybe we'll do it even with Squidward. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a blessed time. I hope if you're with family that you enjoy it because we just are so excited. So happy that she's here. All right, love you all. Have a great weekend.